What is up, guys? N64 Slayer here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Machenike G6 Pro Starflash controller. So when you open the box, it will look something like this, but there'll be joysticks there, and these joystick modules will be white, which are the 320 gram ones, but currently I'm using both of them in my controllers, so that's all I have right now to put in there. I have the dongle here. This is the 2000 Hertz Nearlink dongle. It comes with a, 4-foot, 3-foot cable. It's white, non-braided. It comes with a switch puller for the joystick modules, and then the controller itself. I'm gonna move this out of the way. So here you can swap the joysticks. I'm gonna swap it out right now. I have PlayStation 5 control freaks on this. That's what's compatible with these joysticks. So there it is with the control freak on, and here's what the controller looks like. I'm going to go over the buttons and everything. So the face buttons are mechanical. They're a little harder to press than like a Fly Digi controller, but they're still really light, and they're slightly membrane. They're like a hybrid. The D-pad has a good click to it. Clean that off a little bit. It honestly feels really nice. It's a little harder to actuate though. All these buttons up here are like semi-membrane, whatever. I don't know, whatever you call them. The joysticks are pretty smooth. The friction rings are smoother than the Apex 4, I'd say, and the joysticks themselves are. Yeah, let's just go ahead and look at the joystick modules. We're gonna pop off the joysticks. You don't have to take that one off. I'm gonna take the faceplate off real quick. So I'm gonna show you how to take the faceplate off. So you just put your fingernails underneath of here and pull from the top. I just almost knocked over one of my controllers over here. So it's pretty simple. You just pull it down or pull out, and then the whole thing should come out. So here's the joystick modules. Sometimes they come off easy. You might have to pull these out with your fingers though. So I mean, one way to do it is you put one finger underneath and pull the opposite direction with your thumb. And so here's the white joystick modules it should come with. To swap them, you just simply take your switch puller that it comes with, and I'm going to move the camera a little bit so you can see it better. You're going to take your switch puller, you're going to go underneath one clip, you're going to pull it across to the other clip, and squeeze. You can't really see it, but there, you just want it like that. Camera won't focus. Squeeze, wiggle a little bit, pull up. It came off a little bit hard, a little bit weird, but there it goes. So these are the joystick modules. They are JH20 modules. They have a resolution of 4096. They are Hall effect, and from what I've seen, they have absolutely zero dead zone. Like these other controllers, like the Apex 4 and the Vader 4s, I'm using the stand on the Vader 4 to hold up the phone right now, so you can see. But compared to those, like these both have a 1.5 dead zone. For like it drifts up to 1.5, and then these I've had like absolutely zero drift. Like it's on the zero dead zone on the application, and they have no drift. I'll show you in Gamepad Tester in a bit. So that's how you take out the joystick modules. It comes with 2 of these orange ones. These are 700 gram modules, and it comes with 2 of these white modules that are 320 grams. Alright, there we go. So then I'll take this one out quick. When you swap in a new module, you will have to recalibrate the controller. I hope it just fell in the garbage almost. Here's the black module that I'm using. This is an 880 gram, and then these light blue ones are 540 grams. You can buy these for about a set of 2 for about $8, $6 to $8 on AliExpress. It comes in one of these boxes, and it comes with a switch puller, in both the modules. So I like the black ones on my left stick for more accuracy, and then the white ones for faster movement on my left stick, because I play a lot of shooters. So you're going to push it back in there, and to make sure it's fully snapped in, you're going to want to take your thing and put it behind the clips. Just kind of press down a little bit, pull back up, and that makes sure that it's in there good. So to put them back on, you just kind of rest it on the stick and then twist it until you feel it kind of go in, and then push down. Pretty simple. There we go. Feels amazing. I love this controller. This is my favorite controller so far. So we're gonna go over the rest of the buttons. The joysticks are really smooth. Here's the bumpers. Very clicky. Feel great. The triggers, they have good dampening. They're not like your typical game shooter controller with absolutely no dampening. The grip is semi-rubberized. Honestly, this is my favorite grip on any controller I've used so far. It feels really nice. It's not too much, and it doesn't make your hands sweat. I mean, it's getting a little dirty, but that's just because of the color. It feels a little darker. It wouldn't be so dirty. So the rear buttons are a little hard to actuate, like if you're actually trying to press them. Here you can change the mode of the controller. So there's mobile phone, Nintendo Switch, PC, and then Nearlink. Nearlink is dongle. I just keep it on that. That's all I use. It's a two-way trigger stop. So there's 3 lines, but you know, they reskin. This is from like another controller, I'm sure, the previous version of the controller, so it does not click in the middle. It's up and down. That's it. So the mechanical trigger stops are very light. They feel good. They're a little longer than like some controllers, but I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. In the software, you can actually make it so that it presses before it even clicks. You know what I mean? Like, because these are Hall effect, you could set the dead zone of these triggers. You can use the FlyDigi stand that I'm using to hold my phone right now. Does fit on here. It's a little bit tight, but honestly, I've used it for a little bit and it worked just fine. This is my favorite controller so far, and everything just feels so nice on it. I wish it had 2 more rear buttons, but hopefully that's the next iteration of this controller. This controller also has a turbo function and a function button, and the home button's down here. If you want to know how to connect it on different platforms, you just read up on it on the manual that it comes with, and the on-the-fly mapping and stuff. It's pretty simple, but I will show you how to calibrate the controller when I go into Gamepad Tester and do things in there. Moving on to the software of the controller, it's called Keylinker, and you can download this on the App Store. I don't know about iOS, but it is on the Android App Store. And to connect your controller, you're going to have to turn on your Bluetooth, and then you're going to put your controller into Nintendo Switch mode. And it should show up right here. It should say G6 Pro app. You click on that, and then hit settings. Here you can change your controller bindings. You can't change the bindings of the rear buttons. You're going to have to do that manually on the fly mapping. So just keep that in mind. It kind of goes through and tells you what you can do here at the bottom. Moving on to the joystick section, you can change dead zones. I currently have it on 0 because this controller has a perfect 0 resting value. You can put in custom curves. There's a few default ones here. You can move it around. I'm just going to hit default. Do it down here too. Here's a help section if you really don't know what any of this stuff does. Down to the trigger section, you can change your trigger dead zones and trigger sensitivity curves. I'm going to just set it to 0 because I don't really mind it being super accurate or super sensitive. I'm just gonna set both these default. You can change that for a racing game, I'm sure. Whatever you need it for. And help section, once again, it's on every single one of these. You can adjust vibration and trigger vibration on the motor section. I just chuck it on 75. I think that's pretty good. And once again, the help, if you need help. I don't think you do. Turbo, here you can change it to manual, automatic, or nothing. So what nothing does is no turbo. What manual does is every time you push it, it turbos that button. And automatically, it's like a toggle. So like you press it and then it keeps doing it, and then you press it again to stop the turbo. You can change the hertz from anywhere from 1 to 30 clicks per second. And there's another help section. I'm going to turn it off. Macro, you can record a macro on here. So you just hit the record button. It will record all of your controller inputs. And you just hit stop. And then you click the arrow next to the macro like button at the top. It will let you choose either your M1 button or your M2 button. So this will tell you what they're set to. Currently I have one set to A and one set to X, but you can record it and then you just save it, and then it will save to the whatever button you have it selected on here. You can set here's a sensor calibration. That is not the same as joystick calibration, just so you know. I'm going to calibrate it just to show you. Please press the plus button, which I think is the back button. Just did it. Then you hit OK. And then operation time. That's how long the controller is inactive before it turns off. I have it set to 10 minutes, because otherwise the battery goes dead. The battery on the controller is actually pretty good. I'd say it's just as much as like pretty much any other controller I use. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Here's a couple things you can go on here. Key test. You can test joysticks and stuff if you think that it's broken or something. Factory reset your controller. Simplified mode, I don't recommend that. I think it's in simplified by default, so I would just click here and then click this simplified button, but it would take you to the advanced one instead. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the software. Now we're going to move on to Gamepad Tester. So moving on to the Gamepad section of the video. Here you can see, I think B6 and B7 are the triggers, so you can see that, when I push the triggers, it will act accordingly. So, and then you can, dang, I'm like in the way. Move your joysticks around and it'll show you that. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to calibrate the controller real quick. I'll move the camera down. So to calibrate the controller, you can hit the home button, the back button, and the B button simultaneously. And then what you do is you pull the triggers, I'd say 3 times, and then you move the joysticks 1, 2, 3 times, but I like to go 4 or 5. There's 5, and then you hit the start button. And then your joystick should be perfectly calibrated every time without fail. Oh my gosh, I love this controller. So, as you can see, I have this controller set to 0, 0 dead zone, or 0 to 100. It's on 0. It's on 0. It's on a 0 dead zone on both joysticks. So as you can see, they snap back perfectly every time. Not even a question. Like, no other controller does this. And look how light I'm pushing it. Like I'm brushing against it and it's actuating. So we're going to do a circularity test, and I'm just going to move the joystick in a circle, and it's 0.01. It can get to 0.02. I mean, like, it does it once in a while, and like, it's pretty good. But yeah, there you go. The controller is absolutely insane. 0 dead zones across the board. Like, Sometimes it'll drift a little bit, but so I might have to just recalibrate it in general, because I've noticed that sometimes it will just do that, even though it's perfectly fine. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, start, and then now it's perfectly fine. Now it does not drift at all. There you go. If it ever starts to drift, just recalibrate it. I've noticed after about a week of using the controller, or maybe 2 weeks, it started to drift. Just recalibrate. Works perfectly fine. If it's actually your joystick module that is causing the drift, just swap it out. Buy a new set, swap it out. Or if you have an extra one, which you probably will, use that one. Because you get 4 to start with, and honestly, the orange ones are really good yet. 700 grams, like, that's still really good. The 800 gram ones, I have 2 sets of them. I got one set for $8 and one set for $6, and then these I got for $8 as well. When I got them for $6, they're on sale on AliExpress. So here I'm going to test the latency. There we go. There we go. So, as you can see, it has a jitter of 0.16, a maximum of 1.06 milliseconds, an average latency of 0.56, and a minimal of 0.5. So, I guess it does actually show that it's 2000 hertz. See? Apparently they updated it. So it says 1800 hertz stability, 180%. I don't know. They must have just updated this, because a week ago when I tried this controller, it did not work at all. It just said 1000 hertz, 1 millisecond. Here are my test results. 0.16 jitter, 1800 hertz. Wow, that is incredible. That is incredible. Well, there you have it. That's this controller. Absolutely insane. This controller is an absolute beast. Absolute beast. This is the best controller. So as you can see, I have a couple controllers coming in. So I got the big one, Blitz 2 TMR. TMR is not a selling point, but you know what? People think it is, and I'm gonna say in that video why it's not. And then I have another one, Thunderobot G80, which is just like this controller, but it has some shoulder buttons. It has 1000 hertz pulling. It's not 2000 like this one, but it costs more, $20 more. But it comes with a stand, and I don't know. We'll see how good it is. We'll see how good it is. I paid $57.38 for this controller, and then I paid $15.22 for 2 sets of joysticks, and then I paid $6.45 or $6.13. My final thoughts on this controller are: if you need a controller for first-person shooter games, this is the controller. Now, for platformers, the D-pad, maybe, I'm not sure. It has a bit of a bad roll-off. It's harder to roll off, so if that's what you like, there you go. There's no controller with more accurate joysticks. These JH20 modules with the right calibration are absolutely incredible. And the Thunderobot G80 controller that I recently bought also uses these same joysticks, and you can swap them out as well. So if this doesn't seem like your controller, I would stick around for that review. That's going to be it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Lots of information, and this is like my first mainstream review of a controller. So if you have anything, like any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I'm trying to find the perfect controller for anything and everything and everybody.